Hiya, pal! Sorry about that. I had a bit of trouble finding the place. Oh, surprise, surprise. It seems that you got a Brain Dead 13 that needs reviewing. Don't worry, you called the right guy. So, Brain Dead 13 is an FMV full motion video game where you have QTE or quick time event sequences, and you need to think quickly and adapt on the fly as you face different bosses, each with their own ways of trickery for killing you. Find different pathways to defeat all of these monsters, ghouls and fools, before they find it a way to defeat you. With that being said, let's get into the good and the bad of this game. Oh yeah! So, the game's story is pretty short and straightforward. Let me give you the quick little rundown. One day, inside a haunted castle, lived a live talking brain named Dr. Neurosis, who, with his henchman Fritz, wants to take over the world. But he runs into a problem, as the computer he really needs has something wrong with it. Realizing this, Neurosis calls a computer tech, video game junkie, 17-year-old named Lancelot Galahad. When Lance was done with the computer, Dr. Neurosis told Lance his plans of taking over the world. To the doctor's dismay, Lance already had him figured out, and to add insult to injury, Lance calls the doctor average. Typical. Villain of the week. What'd I say? What'd I say? And Dr. Neurosis did not like that at all. So he continues with his initial plan when Lance showed up, with killing the technician after he would get done with the computer. But here's the catch, you see. Lance is smarter and quicker than these monsters that want him dead. So he easily thwarts all of their plans and even Neurosis' idea of taking over the world. So yeah, that's pretty much the sum up of the game, which, I mean, it's a pretty short story. It's literally like a 30-minute episode you would see on a regular cartoon. And that's fine. I think it's really sweet and a little charming in the deal. I like that. Now you'll see some other reviewers online dog on that story, be like, oh my goodness, it's terrible, but please, just ignore them and actually take the real review, that being me. I love how this game is an FMV, or a full motion video game, as it's basically like controlling the plot of a TV show. Continuing on that point, I also like how non-linear the game is, as there's no set order to defeat these sub-bosses. If you want to, you could defeat the statue first, then VV, then the two witches, and then the football player Moose. Or defeat the two witches, then VV, then Moose, and then the statue, and so on and so forth. Piggybacking on this point, let's say you messed up on a direction and decided to go back the same way. Well, the place that you entered from, you'll actually be able to experience it in a different way. As when you enter from the kitchen, through the window, there'll be a flame in the oven, indicated by its green beady eyes that it wants to kill you. So you'll just be spamming right to go leave from that door. And if you are coming in from the door, there'll be a gator waiting for you. So then you'll press left, fire, right, fire, and then up to go back into the trophy room. Or another one is that if you're coming from the left of this room, you'll be facing a centipede, and you'll basically just spam A all the way through. Whereas if you were coming from the right side, you would be spamming left, fire, fire, and then up to go back to the hallway. Or another one is if you're coming from the bedroom, from the left side, you'll be pressing down, fire, 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 right, and then gotta skedaddle out there. Or if you're coming from the right side, you'll press down, left, and then up to go back to the hallway. Or how about if you went from the left, to go to the auditorium, you'll fight a ventriloquist dummy. You'll have to flick left, then right, then fire, and then up. And then, gotta go to the left. But if you came, part 2, from the right, you'd have to dodge Fritz by going to the right to the piano, and then left to go all the way down, and then leave. Excuse me. What do you want? Come on. What do you want? Oh, just seeing your progress. Fourth video, nice, man, nice. I didn't even think you'd even get this far. You talking about your ventriloquist dolls, marionette dolls, but you know, hey, that's it's pretty cool that you're getting this far. I hope you can make it to the fifth one. See what you do from there.
Well, I thank you for that. And, it wasn't really that easy. It was pretty tough. A lot of trials and tribulations. But more importantly, I think you were trying to give me on some weird subtle diss. I don't know what that was about. But same diff, but I thank you for the compliment.
Well, now since we're just kind of pulling words out of our behinds from the random English lexicon that we want to speak of, no, it's not. They are two separate types of puppets, bruh. But by that logic, a hand puppet would be a ventriloquist dummy, not a marionette doll.
But they're all a form of puppeteering to give the illusion of being alive. And just like the dummy, the doll does the exact same thing. I don't know why you're trying to start this weird, random, petty argument with me about something so trivial to this game, but sure, marionette doll.
No, dude. Because I can't have you, and here's the thing, I can't have you going around saying stuff like that, as said dolls are mostly used in storytelling purposes. And here's the most important part that you need to get through your skull. You don't usually see the person controlling them as they're on strings, you dumb Neanderthal.
Okay, that's fair. But how are you going to tell me that when he's chuckling, he's talking, and he's laughing?
Oh my goodness, bro, Swag, bro. You would literally be the type of guy talking about an auditorium, referring to a theater, bro.
I mean, both of them are used for performances, so...
See, that right there, that's what I'm talking about, man. A theater's for seeing, and an auditorium's for hearing. Come on.
What? No! You can have an auditorium inside a theater for a larger space. Because, answer me this, why would I sacrifice either seeing or hearing in a musical performance or a stage play?
Hey guys, that's great and all, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. But could you answer me this real quick? What on earth does this have to do with the Brain Dead 13 review? I came here to watch whatever hyperfixation spiel of a topic you were talking about today, but not this. Not this Beck the Schizo Rants debate over puppeteering. Now y'all better get y'all's behinds in shape and get back into that video, man.
Ooh. And I know someone's gonna more than likely mention the Moose section, or the infamous Blue Witch and the Orange Witch section, which are basically the same exact sections, except inverted in their controls. And in Moose's case, whether you take the left side or the right side, it basically plays the same except this pole part where you have to hit either the left and then the right, or if you're going from the right side, you have to hit the right and then the left, but they always equal up. It is still a very neat little detail in my opinion. The timing in this game is pretty precise, and at times, especially forgiving for missing an input. And if you're having a bit of button trouble, you can always change the configs of your controller to whatever buttons you desire. Despite this game being rated kids to adults, or pretty much rated E for everyone nowadays, there is quite a bit of graphic deaths, ranging from being cooked in a stew. I was like, Chef-a-rooney, what's on the menu? But it was us. We got cooked. To a pit full of spikes. To your body being ripped in two from Fritz's hooks? Okay. Go. Left, Lance! And this game's rated E for everyone? To literally getting the snot and earwax slammed out of your head, like, jeez. Golly. No, this dude did not just have, he didn't just lose his teeth. This dude had snot and earwax just leaking out of it. It's like, is this thing even kissed to a... Look, there's a certain point I'm just like, geez, dude. In terms of animation, the game's animations is something I just cannot shy away from myself, as it really wants you to feel terrible. I mean, really terrible for Lance's deaths, as boy, does he have a lot of them. So, you'll be shocked, laughing, and entertained for many, many, many hours. A very minor mention, but I really did like the subtlety line of, what Vivi had said when she was working on Lance.
I know exactly.
But the animation.
Well, at any rate, I'm already a little behind.
Dang!
Hey,
What I meant to say was, that's no. Structurally, despite the game basically being 30 minutes long if you play it straight, I gotta say that the areas are pretty big, as it literally took me 11 hours just to get the sub-bosses down to a T. A little minor detail, but I love the design for all the bosses, as each place has a certain theme. Vivi with her funeral salon and having very sharp items that can mess you up. Moose with a bunch of sports equipment that can certainly pack a wallop. The statue that heavily tests your endurance in this long maze garden. And the two witches that, while they play the same but in reverse, have a bunch of spells, items, and all kinds of hoodoo. And then in the final battles with Fritz and Dr. Neurosis, heavily shows and tests Lance's quick thinking, quips, and ingenuity as he moves and adapts to any of these situations presented to him, despite being a 17-year-old computer technician gaming junkie. And lastly, musically, I really love the instruments used for these stages. An example I have is the maze music, as it plays out like a big chase scene, letting you know that you gotta get out of there, man, and get to moving. Basically saying, okay, this is Brain Dead Disc 1, this is Brain Dead 13 Disc 2. I don't have to do any of that. I can just go to systems and then change the discs automatically. I love the music in this game. Or in the Cajun Chicken, I meant the kitchen. But in the Cajun Kitchen, it gives off a, oh sweet, finally, I can chill for, oh jeez, and then you get burned to death. By the way, that was not a reference to Genshin Impact of Zhang Ling. I actually had messed up on the audio recording, so I'm gonna just leave it in there. But let's go and go back to it. There's a lot of great tracks that I'll link down below, obviously. But my personal top faves, time to give them off. My personal top 5 faves is Vivi's Funeral Salon, the Maze section, Moose's theme, the Cajun Kitchen, and lastly, the Castle theme. If not the Castle theme, then it definitely would have been the main theme as a very close second. Like, really, really close. This is going from top 5 to top 1, by the way. And again, all of their tracks will be linked down in the description down below. So now, in Intermission. Man, is this game neat or what? For a 30-minute TV show length video game, it's got a lot of merit, scares, and plenty of laughs. Different pathways to choose from, along with bosses too. This game is indeed a must-have on the PlayStation. Never mind the brain-dead idiots who will hate this game for it being quote-unquote old-fashioned since it's a full-motion video, as if these basement-dwelling bums weren't playing Bing Bing Wahoo and Kung Bunky while mastering it to get a high score, as if anyone cared about high scores, especially in 1995. Regardless, this game is great, and is indeed a sleeper hit on the PlayStation and its other respected devices that it's on. However, while I don't have any unnecessary hate for this gem I found in middle school, now that I've finally played the game, I can seem to understand a few of its flaws that the game unfortunately does have. And so, with that unbiased mindset, let's get into the bad. My starting issue with this game, and this is so extremely minor, is the fact that when Lance showed up to the castle, he was searching around the computer to see what was wrong with it. Instead of just dismissing the computer as a Microsoft Windows XP Media Center Edition 2005, or in y'all's case, a pile of junk, he happens to find a funked out diode, surprise, surprise, and asks a question to his client if,
got any gum, sir?
And right there, that's when I had a problem, alright? That, got any gum, sir? Okay? Because it was just an annoying tick that bothered me. Initially, when I first heard this, I just brushed it off as the old gum solution. All right, you know, Hey Arnold used it whenever he was trying to sneak around that big corporation. So I was like, you know, I'll give that a pass. But my brothers and sisters in Christ, chewing gum does not conduct electricity. It is an insulator. For my people in the back, an insulator is a material that refuses to let any type of electrical current pass through it. In this case, the gum being connected to the other wirings acting like a connection. And I know you're gonna say, well, the gum that was provided to Lance came from Fritz's mouth, and maybe that random goop could actually be electrical. And fine, right? Sure. I can totally understand that. Problem was the fact that this dude Lance thought that gum would be a solution is an insane idea. Furthermore, it's not even a solution. It's a temporary solution. And even then, Mr. Crabahad charges him anyways. $25 to be exact. Man, this is outrageous for a temporary fix, as the computer isn't technically even fixed. He didn't give you a part, he gave you a temporary part. What is this, Lance? Scamming. Crabahad, Mr. Crabahad. Jeez. But, to be fair, $25 sounds like, you know, a wheel of deal has a feel it's a steal. Compared to paying $50 for a restring guitar and all you did was simply ask to restring the guitar, but she still decided to clean it and charge you an extra $25 giving it love and care. Like, bro, what are you talking about? And then comments want to be like, oh, well, how much do you think the restring guitar should be? And then you had to delete it because that just was the most stupidest thing you could have heard of. Alright, I'm sorry. I was kind of projecting on an old video that I'll post up on the top right or whatever. But let's go ahead and go more onto our bad points. The best I can describe this gameplay is that Braindead 13 goes from experimentation to memorization. To explain my point a bit further is that this game is a QTE, or a quick time event based game, as it relies on you to make split-second decisions based on what's happening in front of you, like those interactive or choose your own adventure type of books. My problem resides with the fact that there's no arrows or any prompts or indications to show you what actions you are able to take, which leads you to pressing all the arrows and the fire button on each encounter you fail at. The way the game indicates the noise to you to understand if you're actually missing the window or if you're hitting the window is if you hear the slow tunk 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 tunk, that's how you know you're missing the window. But if you hear like a ting 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 ting, then that's how you know you're actually hitting the right window. Now, this strat sounds pretty legit and pretty cheesy and pretty basic until you get into VV's salon segment, where if you choose the manicure option, you'll have to dodge the butcher's knife. But the problem mainly stems from, hey man, can you at least show me an arrow to press so I can dodge it? Because if I press right,
Oh, did I do that?
I failed. I pressed left.
Oh, did I do that?
I failed. Alright, fine. I'll press down.
Oh, did I do that?
I failed. Okay, so I'll press up. I dodged it! Yes! Wait, you still going?
Oh, did I do that?
Now check it. Alright, we're gonna go right. I mean up. Then left. Then up. Then to the right. Back to the left. Up. And then slide to the left. Now check and turn your signals to the left. This don't look very sharp.
This don't look very sharp.
Which makes this 7 buttons you gotta press. Which, if it had arrows, doesn't sound too bad. But again, since there's no arrows or any prompts or anything to show you which buttons to press or which prompt to get and hit and all this stuff, you're just gonna default to just spamming a bunch of random buttons to see whatever works. Again, this is what I'm talking about, that the game goes from experimentation to see what works to memorization to just see what buttons that you gotta press. Another point I have about the whole why you need the arrows and stuff, this is just my second point, is the chair recliner segment. Okay, so the first instance of, dodging the knife, that's not really so bad, you just press fire, right? Okay, so then there's another segment where the mirror or whatever tries to hurt you. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to press right, right, and right. Right, right. Okay? Problem. You'll hear the tink, the little tink, 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 tink. You'll hear that first time. You'll hear it right when you press right one time. And then you'll still lose. And it's like, whoa, I heard the tink. Why did I lose? You're supposed to go right, right, right. Like the way how I said it. Right, right, right. You can't just simply press right, right, right. It doesn't work, okay? You gotta go right, right, right. Now, I don't know how you would know that, but you're just supposed to know that, I guess. And the animation doesn't even play it all the way, so you wouldn't even know that the animation is gonna come up in the first place. So it's like, how would I have known that? Again, if you gave me prompts to see the arrows, that would be best.
This is what I'm talking about, the window being weird on this game. So I'm spamming A. Easy. Easy dodge. Now here, the recliner, I have to press this 3 times. But here, I could just spam it and get all 3 right. Oh no, it was not. Oh no, it was not doing that. It was not doing that earlier. It was not doing that. Okay, I'm about to show you this, because the moment I stopped recording, it decided to do it again. The glitch decided to do itself again. Alright, so right here, you get to spam right, and then boom. Like you heard the ting ting ting? That's what it's supposed to give you the, the thing. So yes, even though you hear the tink, even though you hear that it basically means that you did the action right, like, yeah, you did pretty good. In this instance, it didn't matter because literally right here, I spam right, right, right. And now it wants to work. You kind of got it. It's a little iffy on that part.
And what I'm about to show you, this next part that's going to solidify the whole arrows thing and the point that be over with, is the garden section. So let me quickly break this down for you, for both the garden section and then the statue section. There's 2 parts in this, alright? So when you first get to the patio, you'll press right, okay? Then when you're in the garden, you'll press right, up, left, 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 down, down, right, up, and then up again just to get to the statue. Now that we're on the second phase, we got to the statue segment. You see the golden, gate, blah, 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 blah. It's left, 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 left. Then when you get on the fountain, spam fire. Press right after the Hiya Pal. Then fire, down, fire, and another fire to do the Hannekin spin. Then the statue will try to vomit at you. You'll press right. And since you want to defeat bro, you're going to press right. If you want to leave, you'll press up. But since we want to defeat him, you'll press right. Okay? Once you did that, then in combat, you'll press right, left, and then quickly when you're on the fish, right, and then fire due to the timing, because you'll either slip or miss the trident, both making you fall to your death. Then while he's raising the trident, press fire, fire, right, fire, and fire to defeat the boss and leave the garden. Now, me talking about it, that doesn't sound too bad. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, that's relatively hard, but that seems like a fairly good challenge. And this is what I'm talking about with my last point about the whole experimentation versus memorization. You don't have prompts. There is no indication, again, to tell you when you should press this, when you should not press this. So a lot of it is you having to be frame perfect on every single thing that you have to do, and it will take you hours to beat these sections. Bro, aren't I supposed to be having fun? Am I a kid? No, this is not even this is not even an age thing. Am I a kid or am I an adult? Cause like, who are we catering to? Dark Souls fans? What is this? Golly, jeez. And bro, you think I'm gently crashing? Bro, you have not seen me when I actually would record this stuff, which I need to make sure to stream sometimes to actually make sure to get these recordings and hear my honest reactions. But man, like, dude, in gameplay it's okay. But yeah, this is when I'm trying to say that this game just needs prompts. That's my whole point. It just needs prompts. It needs arrows. It needs some kind of just prompt or anything to let you know this is what you're supposed to press, because, my lord, how is anybody supposed to figure this stuff out? And I know you're gonna say, well, Swag Bro, you figured it out by you simply playing it blindfolded. And yeah, I did. But that's me. That's me. Right? That's me. But that's not like the average Joe Schmo. You're not dealing with you're talking to Swag Bro. You're not dealing with the average gamer, okay? I'm talking about a casual who is just trying to do this stuff. They're gonna have a much more difficult time. I'm not saying to make it, oh, hey, no, the baby wavy. But golly, man, you can have your cake and eat it too on this. You can have the prompt thing, make it be like a challenge sort of thing. And then you can do that whole high score mumbo jumbo that I was talking earlier about that nobody cares about. But you could at least try to make a high score sort of thing where it's like, okay, maybe he gets, I don't know, a better ending secret for playing the game without the arrows. That he actually has to try to see, what he might need to quick time with. That would be cool. But as it stands, it's just like an unnecessary challenge that you're imposing on yourself for no reason. But that's just my 2 cents that I wanted to put in the arcade machine. So let's continue on further. To make this even worse, when you thought the garden section wasn't bad, to make this even worse is the final fight with Dr. Neurosis, as Fritz just shoots wildly, just all over the place. And when you look at this for the first time, it's like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know whoever playtested this, but maybe they might have had the arrow sheet on hand and they were told what to do, because I'm not sure whoever playtested this didn't think to themselves, hey, maybe we should probably have a display to show what directions to press, or maybe a map to remember what buttons the player could press. The game also wants to pick and choose when to give you a reaction window, as sometimes there'll be instances where it's one of those, okay, how would I have known that on my first go, bruh? Right. Dang. Wait. Or other times, it'll be this huge long window where it's like, bruh, I already made my decision, just go ahead and go. And then dude said we have to go fight the ventriloquist though. Oh, excuse me, marionette doll. But like, okay, you know what I mean?
Uh-oh, gotta go.
No. You can't just pick and choose how long an outcome sequence like this should be. It should stay moderately consistent, so it keeps a sort of pattern, as this game is supposed to be in. Oh man, it's not clicking to me. What's the ESRB rating again? Oh yeah, kids to adults, or E for everyone. My bad. Though I'd kind of argue this game should be E10, but that's just me. And lastly, I wish the game would let you know if you defeated an enemy beforehand. Maybe like a little icon thing showing like, okay, you beat Vivi or Moose or one of the other 2 witches. Because if you forget whoever you defeated, if you somehow go back to the same place and get stumped to either leave or to continue facing the boss, you are forced to leave because you can't reface that boss again, making backtracking almost inevitable sometimes when you're trying to just simply get through the game and figure out which bosses to defeat. Because the game, again, doesn't tell you which ones you should beat or which ones counts to get to the final fight and all this stuff, so you're just gonna be kind of aimlessly running around dodging stuff and juking things, not knowing if these are the things that you should actually be focusing on. Structurally, the game's locations, while vast, I mean humongous, can feel really annoying to navigate, playing it the first time. As since you literally have a 2-second window to grasp on what is going on the screen during the hallway segments, it'll make trying to find a lot of places really difficult and extremely hard because you have to backtrack on a lot of stuff. Again, if they maybe extended the window just a little bit more, then it would be a little bit easier. To piggyback on the whole location structure point, in order to beat the game, you have to defeat all the sub-bosses, the witches, Vivi, Moose, and the giant statue. Then once you beat all of them, an elevator will pop up and you'll go down that to face against Fritz and then Dr. Neurosis to save the day. So I beat all the sub-bosses with trial and error, but after 11 hours with relative ease. Now again, what's supposed to happen here that I defeat all of them is that an elevator will appear on both witches' sides. So whichever witch I want to go to, the blue or the orange, there will always be an elevator to pop up so I can go beat the big bad and save the day. However, here, I couldn't find it. After hours upon hours of beating the bosses over and over and over again, and even at one point without losing twice in a row, just to make sure that I just had to run this without a death, I decided to look up some guides. And there'll be two people that I'll mention, alright? The first one here is named Tom D. Mack, and he did help me remembering what arrows to press, and goes very much in detail on how to beat these fights. Yet, I didn't see a way to get to the elevator to work. He didn't mention that, sadly, so that kind of made it a little bit harder to find. Then, while continuous research was going on and just trying to research over and over and over again, out of all the spots that I could have found this, someone from DeviantArt, of all places, told me what I was doing wrong. And this is the second person that I'll mention. Said person goes by the name of Argonaut Studios, and he told me that I needed 2 eyeballs from the blue witch and the orange witch. But the thing is that if you were like me, you wouldn't know. What? Eyeballs? What are you talking about? So, and here's the thing that I'm pretty much trying to say. This game's pathways sometimes do not correlate on the way that it's showing to you. And what I mean by this is, and I'm gonna freeze frame this, alright? Look at this whole image. If you told me which way do you think is another way to get out of here? Or to do something else? Up? Yeah, right, okay. Forward ahead of you? Surprisingly, no. Back ahead of you? Surprisingly, no. It's down. Down? You mean to tell me that because the reason why this elevator didn't show up was because I didn't press down? How would you have known to press down? To go find these eyeballs for them to be the main crux of the final. How would you have known that? This is what I'm talking about. You think I'm tripping? You think I'm genuinely sitting here like tweeting? No, I am not. I am not crouching out hard enough. That's the problem. It's oh my goodness. Look, I'm gonna just play the video on how I figured this out, and this was just my first initial reaction. Right now I'm downplaying it, but at that moment, man, I was heated. So I'm gonna just go ahead and let that play out, because again, you think it'd be straight up or back, or you know, or right where we came from, or forward, not down. Not down. Oh snap. Well, I mean, it doesn't really kind of matter. I'm still gonna get sorry. Dodging the cat. Once you get to a doorway with a corpse, go down, then get the first eyeball. Got you. Okay, yeah, I could do that. Whoa, hey! Wait. That was not in the SwaggView curriculum. Hold up. Wait, Tut. Hang on. No. Hang on. So you mean to tell me that I was supposed to press down? How would I have known that? Literally, I was like, okay, maybe right. It looked like an exit, maybe right, okay. And maybe, and you know, obviously up. How on earth was I supposed to know I was supposed to go down to get some eyeballs, then go up? Bro, how would I have known? That? Literally, how would I have known that? There was no signification to do this. Then you're supposed to hit right and then leave. Like, how would I have known that? I'm serious. How would you have known that? You wouldn't. You literally wouldn't. There's some stuff in this game where I sit there myself like, you wouldn't know that. I wouldn't have known that. I didn't think that was the most insignificant, like, awkwardest corner. What are you talking about? That is so stupid. I knew it was going to be some stupid mess, but I didn't think it was going to be that redundant. You mean to tell me that I was supposed to press down arrow on this one thing that had me tripping? It did
And I wouldn't have known. I literally wouldn't. That's okay. Okay. So the game isn't broke. I was like, bro, like, how has nobody else had this problem? Because I'm gonna give you the proper stuff it is. I'm gonna give you your props. So is it left? It is gonna be left by that logic. How would you have known this? How? Literally how? No one. There's no path for that.
Huh?
There's not even like a signification of a path. You would think it'd be left, right? But it's not. The game doesn't even hint at this. So now that we've caught both eyeballs, now we can go to the left. Now the elevator's gonna get triggered. Now everything's gonna work. I prayed to the Lord. I said, Lord, I'm gonna beat this game. Alright? Even if it means I'm gonna have to break this thing figuratively and literally. Shabang! There's the elevator! Finally! Oh my goodness! And it only took one stupid arbitrary thing of knowing to press down on the arrow. Seriously, how has nobody talked about this? That's insane! No, pause. Okay? Literally, give me that Fritz and that Lance Galahad, man. Jeez. Oh my good, no. Cause how would you have known that? Literally, how would you have known that? How? There's no path. There's no signification on this. A lot of the stuff I could have passed in this game would have been like, okay. I mean, I don't know how you would think that pressing up on the arrow would dodge the witches, but all right. You know what I mean? Or pressing left and then right and then left and not a singular down arrow on Vivi's chop section. I was like, okay, you know. But this is just a new level of what on earth would I have done type of situation. Because seriously, nobody talked about this. I'm thinking to myself, this should not be as hard as it should be. And it's like, no, it's not. Because you have to press down and then nowhere not even the video that I watched. When I watched the witches section did I see that. And I might have heavily overlooked that. The one part that I overlooked was the witches section, actually. Okay. It's because I was hearing two eyeballs. I'm like, I thought this dude was just, I thought that the AI thing was talking about some random other thing. So it says one walkthrough says that the elevator only appears after you've collected the two eyeballs. This suggests that those items are required to activate the elevator. Without them, the elevator does not show. I'm not 100% if that's accurate, but it's a possibility. If you fought the witches but somehow skipped or missed out on those eyeballs, then that's probably what's up. And it was. It literally was. I was sitting here like, bro, this game is hard. It's annoying. It's tough. But if there's one thing it shouldn't be, is just this incoherently inconsistent. Like, there's no way, without a shadow of a doubt, that because I was sitting here genuinely tripping. I was like, bro, I know this exit. I've seen this game. I've seen this game multiple times in the 7th grade. I'm sorry. I know that's a weird tangent to be going on, but man, I'm gonna write this down. No, I'm writing this down. I am writing this down so bad. I'm about to rip this thing a new one. Oh yeah, YouTube. You be prepared. I'm about to rip you a new one so bad. And lastly, is that while I do think the soundtrack is great and awesome and just neat all around, it is so hard to focus on the music when you're actively being tracked and chased by all of these monsters. I know it's a QTE, but yeesh, man. I really wish they at least had like a music player mode or something of that sort, because the music is great, but like, I just can't focus on it for too long because I'm just gonna get attacked. So it's like, well dang. But yeah, now let's delve into my final thoughts. So what do I think of the game? My final thoughts. I think the game's genuinely a sleeper hit. Like, I think it's a really greatly animated game. Musically, it's awesome. Structurally, I think it's great too. I mean, the fact that they were able to make it where you can go one way and then you can go back that same way and experience two different levels, that's ingenious. That's neat. That is really neat. I love the stages that the characters are being presented on, like with Vivi and her salon, you know, how she's like, you know, a beauty vixen vampire type of thing. Moose with his whole football gear and stuff, and he's like a Frankenstein's monster because, you know, he's just unbeatable. He's literally an unstoppable beast. It just keeps going on, man. It's a really great game. Visually, it's great.
voicing is great, and the story is pretty simplistic, granted, but that's not a problem. I never even had a problem with stories being short or, mitigated. Like, shows like The Emperor's New Groove. That's a very simplistic story, and yet it's still pretty funny and good. Like, it just all depends on the writing that's going on at hand, or whatever that you got mainly at hand. And I think the game does a really good job with that. But the problem is, obviously, the controls for the game heavily need work. Alright? There needs to be arrows, there needs to be prompts to, to show people, hey, I can move this way, I can move that way, I can move that way. Because again, you're dealing with kids, you're not just dealing with adults, and even then adults can also have the same problem too. It's not a matter of age, it's just a matter of who you're catering this to, alright? You gotta realize, in QTEs, usually they have like an arrow or some signification, right? I mean, didn't they make Dragon's Lair or whatever? Like, that should be, show me some arrows, show me some stuff where I can move, what I can do. Like, you gotta do that. You also gotta make sure that the window to being able to hit certain actions should be constantly consistent. Show some windows. That's all I'm trying to mainly say. Show some windows. Structurally, it's pretty good, right? It's great. But man, the split-second decisions you're just like every single time you get into like the garden. The moment that I get out of the garden, I just have to immediately think, okay, left or right. And it's like, bro, I'm not remembering that. I'm remembering the whole garden segment, the whole statue segment, and then getting back. And now I have to remember this. Like, whenever you leave, they at least give you a big window to see up, down, left, or right. It's like, okay, cool, give me that. But whenever you actually do beat the boss, it's just immediate, hey, go do something. It's like, with Vivi, you didn't have to do that. With Vivi, you had like this long tunnel way, and then you kind of got spewed out. And yeah, it was still short, but you could at least still find a way to leave, alright? So mainly my problem was mainly mitigate down to that, of just inconsistent timings and very, very awkward decision makings on some, movements. Like, that's kind of tough. And I would say my last point would be, again, that witches segment where you just wouldn't even know where the eyeballs were. Because again, how would you have known that? So, that's it. But overall, pretty good game. Just needs some work to do. If they ever decide to make a remaster, hey, you know who to call. I definitely would be there to play it. And if you need some VA stuff, I definitely got you covered. Not really, my voice is pretty flat, but I do my best in any sort of thing. And so, for my final rating on this game is a Crunch Bar Chocolate Bar out of 10.
Now, surprise, surprise, a funked out diode. Got any gum, sir? Cool, thanks.
Subscribble! Thank you all so much for watching, as just recently we got a free Wi-Fi upgrade, with it also being cheaper for our plan. Thank you, people, and some say the Lord ain't good, so inspirational. Alright, Alleluia. Night Trap, alright, is also currently in the works, so make sure you look out for that. Support the channel, and this is SwaggBirdie7, fixing funked out diodes with some gum. Saying to beware and take care. And it's up. Easy. We'll go right, my boy. We'll go right, my boy.
Oh, whoa.
Don't go right, my boy. Oh, jeez. No, you gotta, there you go. Hey. No, why would they do that to my guy? I mean, at the end of the day, it's just pattern recognition. Like, it's hard. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not hard. I mean, the game doesn't make it any more better. Visually, it's a good game. Hey, he grabs it. Hiya, pal.
Hiya, pal.
Then we'll write A, and then down, then A again. Anakin spin, throws himself up, grabs the thing, Lance pulls himself up. The statue dude looks at us, spits his acid, and then I don't know what to do. And then we die. Because I don't know what to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man, I hear you. I don't know what to do. Jeez Louise. Anakin spin! At 1 a.m., bro.
So, sweetie, are you in a hurry or something?
Yeah, lady. There's this freak of nature chasing me and...
There we go. Now you're so bad.
And that is Brain Dead 13. Let's go.